Arguably, the most important part of getting on self-improvement and getting better is you need to have the ability to shut down and ignore your desires. If you cannot ignore these desires that you have, then you are going to be a slave to them. And once you are a slave to your desires, you are going to lose time, you are going to lose energy, and you are going to lose relationships in your life. All three of these things are crucial to you getting better because you need to be optimizing all three of these things in order to be on self-improvement. If you lose any single one of them, then everything else will fall apart with it. And now you may ask, well, how do I shut down these desires? And the answer to that is you need to have self-control. Better yet, you need to have discipline, because once you can be a disciplined kind of person, then when these desires pop up, you are going to have the mental capacity to ignore them. There are two different kinds of desires. There are the things that hurt you and the things that help you. We are trying to ignore and shut down the things that we know are going to hurt us. But the thing is that when we are not disciplined, we are not going to be able to control ourselves over what we desire to do. So if there's something like taking drugs, making really any bad decision in life, you need to be able to overcome this temptation ahead of you. So how do we do this? I'll give you a scenario right now just to see how much self-control plays in your life. If it's a Friday and you have two options, you could either go to a party where you know there's going to be drugs, there's going to be a lot of tempting things to do that are not good for you, or you could choose to stay in and work, or go out and work, whatever that means for you. If that means that you work out, you could do that. If that means that you're going to work on a business or learn something new, then that's your second choice. But when you have no self-discipline, when you have no self-control, what is going to be the most gratifying thing that you can choose in the short term? Well, really, it's going to that party, because this isn't something that requires a lot of energy from you, and it's something that is going to give you a higher amount of dopamine. But now we both know that that is not the smartest decision if you are truly trying to get onto self-improvement. If you are truly trying to get better, you are going to choose to work hard on that Friday night. So, how do we train this discipline to be able to overcome that temptation of going to the party? And how do we train this discipline to make ourselves like doing these harder tasks? The biggest recommendation that I have for this is to do more difficult things. Once doing difficult things becomes a normal part of your life, then everything else will seem easy when you are doing it. So let's say that you have to go on a run every single morning to get that discipline. Let's say that you're trying to do this because it's not like a self-gratifying thing in the short term. So one way that you could do this is going for a run every single morning. This is something that is going to train your discipline every single day, because number one, you need to wake up early, and that requires a lot of discipline in itself. On top of that, you need to go for a run. So now let's say that you have some sort of project that is due next week. It seems very tough, but it really isn't going to be that tough anymore, considering the fact that you have to wake up early and go for a run every single day. So by doing tough things, every single other thing that you do is going to seem like it requires a lot less energy from you, and your mental capacity is going to be able to handle all of the things ahead of you. And there are so many ways that you can train discipline, but really it's all about doing something that you don't really like doing, but it is getting you better while doing it. So you could do a cold shower, you could start eating healthy, you could start working out daily, so many different options. But make sure that you try and do one of these things every single day, so that every single other task that you have to get done that you don't want to do, it is going to seem like a breeze to do it. And so now when you have the choice to give in to this short-term gratifying thing, or the choice to get better, the choice to get better is going to seem a lot better, because now you can focus on the long-term things, the long-term benefit, and you will further understand that the short-term benefits will never outweigh the long-term benefits, because it is common sense to know that working hard on a Friday night is better than going to a party where a lot of bad things are being done. It's common sense, we all know that. But the thing that separates really 99% of the people in this world from that 1% group is that that 1% is able to overcome that short-term desire, and they can tell themselves, you know what, working hard on this Friday night, that is going to get me in a better position. So really, if you want to train this discipline, and if you want to become a more self-controlled person, you need to start doing harder things. We can see this idea further represented in the Bible, because it constantly is talking about separating your fleshly desires from your spiritual desires. Pretty much the Bible is saying that your fleshly desires are these short-term things that are bad for you but you want to do, and your spiritual desires are things that really aren't as gratifying in the short term, but in the long term they are going to have such good repercussions on your life. So the Bible is constantly constantly saying all throughout scripture that you really need to train yourself to overcome what your flesh wants. And the reason for your flesh wanting these short-term things is because your flesh is not going to heaven with you. Your spirit is the only one going to heaven. So the flesh wants to live for everything on this earth, and the spirit wants to live for everything in the eternal, because it understands that the eternal is really what outweighs these worldly things that we can consume. Furthermore, in the Bible, it constantly is talking about if you want to train this discipline, you need to do harder things. And these harder things may consist of praying or reading the Bible. On the outside, it doesn't seem like it is giving you that much, but doing this is going to lead to a stronger version of yourself, because your spirit is going to be able to overcome that personal self that is your flesh. Once you can put these over the short-term gratifying things, then you will no longer be a slave to your desires. Hope that helps you. Thank you for watching. Be blessed. I'm out. Peace.